Part 2. I stared at the metal box hidden under my floor for the sun. My hands were cold. I was not Arthur Vale's son. I had no connection to him. At least that was what I believed. The lock was small and old. I tried a knife, then a screwdriver. Finally, after nearly 10 minutes, it snapped open. Inside were 3 things: a faded photograph, a gold pocket watch, and a newspaper clipping from 29 years ago. The photograph showed Arthur Vale standing beside a young woman. She was holding a baby. On the back, someone had written, Arthur, Evelyn, and Daniel. Daniel. My name. My knees weakened. I picked up the newspaper clipping. Local woman dies in suspicious house fire. Infant son survives. Husband questioned, later released. The husband's name was Arthur Vale. The woman's name was Evelyn Reed. Reed, my surname. I read the article again and again. My mother had died when I was a baby. My adoptive parents told me it was an accident, a fire. They never mentioned Arthur Vale. They never mentioned that my father might still be alive. Then I heard a sound behind me, a soft knock. Not at the door. At the window. I lived on the 7th floor. Slowly, I turned. The woman in red was standing on the fire escape outside my window, smiling. I stumbled backward. She lifted one finger to her lips, then pointed toward the box. I grabbed the pocket watch and ran. I did not wait. I did not think. I ran into the hallway, down the stairs, and out into the street. Behind me, somewhere above, glass shattered. The pocket watch felt heavy in my hand. When I opened it, I saw that it was broken. The hands had stopped at 2:17, the same time I had heard the crash in Arthur's apartment. But inside the watch cover was a tiny folded paper. I pulled it out. There were only 2 words. Ask Clara. Clara was the old woman who lived in apartment 302. She was 90 years old and almost never left her room. When I knocked on her door, she opened it before I spoke. I wondered when you'd come, she said. I followed her inside. Her apartment smelled of tea, dust, and old flowers. She looked at the pocket watch in my hand and began to cry. You look like your mother, she whispered. Who was the woman in red? I asked. Clara gripped my wrist. Her name is Vivian Cross. She was your mother's sister. My aunt? She hated Evelyn. Hated her because Arthur chose Evelyn instead of her. My stomach twisted. The fire? Clara nodded slowly. Vivian started it. Arthur knew, but he couldn't prove it. And after your mother died, Vivian threatened to kill you too. So Arthur gave you away. New name, new family, new life. Then why did he live above me? To watch over you. I couldn't speak. For years I had complained about the old man upstairs. The cane, the footsteps, the noise. And all that time he had been protecting me. Why now? I asked. Clara looked toward the window. Because Vivian found out where you lived. The room suddenly felt colder. A floorboard creaked behind us. Clara's eyes widened. I turned. Vivian stood in the doorway. Red gloves, red lips, a small silver knife in her hand. You always talk too much, Clara, she said. I stepped in front of the old woman. Vivian laughed softly. You have his eyes, Daniel. Arthur's foolish eyes. You killed him. I warned him, she said. I told him to give me the box. But he hid it under your floor before he died. Why did you want it? Her smile disappeared. Because of what's inside the watch. I looked down. The watch? I had already taken the note. But Vivian was not looking at the note. She was looking at the back plate of the watch. With shaking fingers, I twisted it. The back clicked open. Inside was a tiny roll of film. Vivian's face went pale. Clara whispered, Arthur kept the proof. Vivian lunged. I threw the hot tea from Clara's table into her face. She screamed. The knife fell. I grabbed Clara and pulled her into the hallway. Neighbors opened their doors. Someone shouted. Vivian ran toward the stairs. But she did not get far. At the bottom of the stairwell, 2 police officers were already entering the building. Because before I went to Clara's apartment, I had done one smart thing. I called the detective whose number was on Arthur's death report. The film was developed the next day. It showed Vivian outside my mother's house 29 years ago. A gasoline can in one hand, a lighter in the other. Arthur had taken the photograph from across the street. He had kept it hidden all those years, waiting for the right time, waiting until I was old enough to survive the truth. Vivian confessed to the fire, but she never confessed to Arthur's murder. She said he died from fear, from weakness, from old age. But I knew better. At Arthur's real burial, only 3 people stood by the grave. Clara, me, and the detective. This time there was no woman in red, no empty chapel, no false invitation, just rain, silence, and the truth. As the coffin was lowered, Clara handed me one last envelope. Arthur had left it with her years ago. Inside was a letter. My son, if you are reading this, then I failed to tell you the truth while I was alive. I was not a brave man. I lost your mother. Then I lost you. But every day, from the apartment above yours, I listened for signs that you were still living. Your footsteps, your music, your laughter, even your anger. Those sounds were the only family I had left. Forgive me for staying hidden. Forgive me for loving you from the floor above. I folded the letter and placed it against my chest. For the first time in my life, I understood the sound of Arthur Vale's cane. Tap, tap, tap. It had never been noise. It had been a father saying good morning. And now, every morning at 6:30, I wake before my alarm. Not because I hear the cane, but because I remember it. And sometimes, in the quiet just before sunrise, I almost hear it again. Tap, tap, tap. Only this time I'm not afraid.